Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. As children of God, created in His image and likeness, we are all hardwired to be and do good. It is in our nature. To say otherwise is to contradict our Creator, who made all things good, and when He created us, added, very good. And so, to do what is contrary to our nature takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of willpower, great use of intellect and freedom. That is what the dishonest steward was so good in our gospel today. You know, he was a steward, so he was initially trusted by his master to manage his properties, for it was in his nature to be good and to do good. He has all the capacities to be one. He just had to will it by obeying the master's order, and he can do so. But for some reason, he did not. He went against his nature, and what he did after he was told that he will be stripped of his stewardship just proves the great skill and intelligence he had in securing his future. Imagine, he falsified entries in his master's account books to gain favor from his master's debtors, so that when he is finally relieved of his stewardship, they will consider hiring him in the future. Now, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of skill, and a lot of intelligence, a lot of negotiations, and a lot of relationship building. This is what Jesus was commending in our gospel today. The dishonest steward's prudence and resourcefulness after he was told that he will lose his job, and not his dishonesty and his corruption. The steward chose to become a child of the world by using his God-given capacities to be an expert in the world. Sayang. Imagine, if he used these capacities in doing good, in going with his nature, it would have been a lot easier in the first place, and the consequences to the world will be far more astounding. He was good at securing his earthly future, but he was terrible in securing his heavenly future. He was a child of the light, or else he would not have been trusted to be a steward in the first place. He just chose to become a child of the world. Nakakalungkot. Many of us still choose this path. Look at our systemic corruption. It is ingrained in our culture, sadly, and that is manifested sometimes in many government agencies. We all have experiences of that in dealings with government agencies. You know, to make corruption systemic, to upend the entire system created to serve many, to just a system created to serve a few, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of shrewdness and intelligence and experience, and a lot of bad will. Imagine, if we use our capacities for good, saan na kaya ang Pilipinas? You know, even in the church, at the time when there is a widespread criticism of our church structures, we also hear criticisms about our church leaders that are too preoccupied with administration of temporal matters, forgetting spiritual matters. Our saint today, Pope Leo, is an example of a great administrator who used his capacities in areas where spirit and structure are inseparably combined, in teaching and doctrine, in peace and pastoral care. Brothers and sisters, the lesson for us is clear. If the dishonest steward can do that for his earthly career, what about our future in the life to come? If we want to guarantee our future life with God, then we need to take the necessary steps. And those steps are clearly laid out in our gospel. Just do exactly the opposite of what the dishonest steward did. and it will be much easier. First, obey the Master's order. That will never get us into trouble, and that will never ever jeopardize our future in heaven. And then, after obeying, be a prudent and resourceful steward. Let us use our capacities not only to do things well, but to do things extraordinarily well. We have been given unique gifts, and do not waste it in the world. Use it to store treasures in heaven by being good and doing good on earth. Brothers and sisters, our task is to work with God in making His will our own and in building up the kingdom here on earth. If we just go with our good nature, then we have nothing to worry about in our future. Amen.